One of the questions that I get quite often is above ground versus in-ground swimming pools, and what's the difference, what's the maintenance difference, how do you handle each one of them, what are the cost differences? So I'll try to address all of that. An above ground pool, number one, the big advantage of an above ground pool is that it's portable. It's something that can be taken down eventually and gotten rid of. It's not a permanent structure. Advantage. The other advantage is there's very little to it. There's very little construction time. It's a really simple process. The challenge with it today is we've found, especially in our market, I imagine most markets, is subdivision bylaws have become really important. In most subdivisions, the developer, when they're developing out the subdivision, in a lot of cases have eliminated above grounds. So you have to go in ground in most subs today. Although, so that's kind of a downside in terms of above ground pools. You often can't have them. You have to go with an in ground. But their cost is considerably less. The maintenance is equal, if not more. I think people make the mistake thinking above ground there's not going to be a lot of maintenance. And in fact, most above grounds do not have main drains in them. They're always surface skimmed only, which means that the pool always has to be continually full for the pump to work, and you have to stir up and vacuum up the bottom if you want it to clean. Where most in-ground pools have a main drain or two. Hopefully nowadays they all are required to have two, which is drawing water from the bottom of the pool. So as the bottom stirs up, as you swim and stir it up, a lot of that debris gets drawn out of the pool. So in above ground, you're only taking the surface water out and cleaning it, and as a result, you need to stir it more. If you don't stir it more, you're going to have more issues with algae and with that type of thing. Cost-wise, an above ground pool, kind of a typical cost would be $5,000 to $10,000 to have it put in. By the time you buy the pool and the basic pump and the installation, $5,000 to $10,000. Whereas an in-ground, advantage of the in-ground is it's a permanent structure, which could also be a disadvantage, but it's a permanent structure. It's meant to stay there. It's not something you pull out and move away. It's meant to stay there until it needs to be literally destroyed to get rid of it. Cost-wise, you're looking $30,000 plus, $20,000 plus probably. Certain markets, their pools are probably in that $20,000 range. But an above ground to an in ground is probably 30% of the cost or less than the basic in ground. Then an in ground pool, there's so much more that can be done, and it can go from that base $20-some thousand pool up to many $1 million pool. Where an above ground pool, there's not much more you can do it other than maybe build an elaborate deck around it. But it's meant for basic fun and use and play, and it's not meant to be a permanent structure.